This podcast is sponsored by Pretty Mama Maternity. Breastfeeding mamas, we've got something that's going to change your life.
Pretty Mama have an amazing selection of breastfeeding clothing, from sweatshirts to t-shirts and even t-shirt dresses.
Their discreet zips open diagonally so that you can breastfeed with confidence, comfortably, knowing that you're covered.
They're easy to wear and trendy, and will see you through breastfeeding and beyond.
You can use our discount code MAMA15 for 15% off site-wide.
That's MAMMA 15.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Mama Social, the podcast. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Kayleigh, and we're here to talk motherhood, womanhood, and all things adulthood.
So grab yourself a bev and enjoy.
How do you feel about costumes as an adult?
Great.
So much better.
Absolutely great, honestly.
I'm just over flights and travelling, and I was like, let's get a camper van, let's travel around Scotland, let's go to Wales. We've never seen parts of the UK.
Yeah. It's funny, right? It's funny, but I think I'd be exactly the same as you. I'd be like, what on earth are you doing?
Get out of the machine.
Why are the adults taking that on? I am the most chilled out person on the planet. Like, I am so chilled out that sometimes this rage shocks us.
Trick or treating, do you do it?
I haven't done it ever yet, but I'm going to do it tonight. I emailed in about my daughter's costume a few weeks ago, so this is a follow-up. Happy Halloween.
Oh. For any of you YouTube listeners, I'm not going to tell you. You'll have to let us know what you think we are.
What, dressed up as?
Uh-huh.
What, they're just going to guess?
Yeah.
Just out of all of the possible costumes on the planet.
I've never seen these two before.
Have you not?
Ever? Have you?
I don't know, but I'm desperate to say what I am.
Well, why don't we just say it? Today's episode is sponsored by
Star Crabs. Star Crabs coffee.
Grab yourself a free coffee and bagel.
I'm a big pumpkin spice latte. I've lost my arm. Right.
We wonder how long these are going to last.
It's lovely.
How do you feel about costumes as an adult?
Great.
So much better.
Absolutely great, honestly. So we're going to go trick-or-treating. And...
You and Glenn want these?
Yeah. 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 You know what?
Only if you take some pictures of Glenn as this bagel.
I don't know if he'd want to be a bagel.
So you want to be the coffee?
Maybe. I really want to get an inflatable outfit.
Well, I had them in the basket, but I thought they'd be too noisy.
Yeah.
Sound like you've brought a friendly
Is that
toy
not
in.
just when you first blow them up, though?
No, constantly.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Freddie's got this little
I
duck.
suppose because airage.
Go. It's not a balloon.
Yeah, I've got an inflatable ghost outside the house, actually, and he makes a little noise.
Yeah.
But I love dressing up. I'm getting dressed up with the kids to go trick-or-treating.
Well, only as Star Crabs.
But I don't know if I want to be a coffee going trick-or-treating.
What do you want to be?
Something scary. This isn't scary.
Like what?
I don't know. Either scary or inflatable. That's me two options.
There was inflatable one of, it looked like a Chucky, you know, the crazy doll thing, but you were stood on its shoulders.
Oh, yeah, there's
No
loads
one
of
of
them.
them ones. I was like,
There was an alien, like, carrying me.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I did not how I feel about us sitting down
I might
on
dress
top
us
of a
all up
child.
as aliens, actually.
Good shout.
Or bats. Oaks requested a bat.
Good shout. There's loads of bats on holiday.
What,
Just
actual
outside.
bats?
Mm-hmm. We had this big fruit plant, and the bats would fly in.
Ew.
Dale's mum would be like, "Mwah, mwah." And I'm like, just ignore them. They're just birds
They're not.
at night.
They're not birds.
Yes, but just act like they're a bird. A bird's never landed on your head, so a bat's never going to land on your head.
How do you know?
Stop putting fear into people. I'm going to be hot, even though I've got my arms out.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be that hot. I'm quite cosy.
Cozy?
Yeah.
You Star Crabs. Mm-hmm. It's nicer to go. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, but I like getting dressed up as a proper adult now.
What do you mean?
because there's no intentions or expectations of being like the sexy nurse.
Oh
or
God,
the sexy
yeah, I'm not asked about
cheerleader.
being sexy.
Like, this is perfect
I
for me.
just, for
A
Halloween,
bagel.
I mean, obviously, like, you know, before I had kids and we used to go out for Halloween every year, there would be like an element of sexy. Like something would be short, you know, but I'd always be dead. Like, I'd always be dead and I'd look dead.
I think the last time me and Dale got dressed up was before Freddie, and we were, God, what were they? Clown things, but I did like dead scary makeup that I watched a tutorial for that took me hours.
Me and Glenn used to love getting dressed up.
So today, I think we're talking about that Halloween stuff. But first, give me your rundown of the week, your pits, your peaks, your.
Oh, goodness me. You just went into that far too fast and didn't give us a chance to think of a pit or a peak.
Should I do mine?
Yes, thank you. Pits and peaks.
So, peak of my week is we've been on holiday.
Was it good?
It was good, but at the end of the holiday, I'd said to Dale, the next holiday, we are both actually having time off because we both worked every single day.
Oh, did ya? So it's like a holiday, like...
I was just working in the sun.
Yeah.
I got bit off a million flies, so I look like I've got scabies all over my legs. Look at them ones.
Nothing bites me, you
No.
know. I'm
No.
going to touch wood.
Nothing's ever bit me.
No way.
Normally Dale gets the biter man. Look, they are so
God, yeah.
sore.
Are they itchy?
So itchy. Today's the first day they've stopped itching a little bit, but that was horrendous. But yeah, we just worked in the sun. So as soon as the kids went in the kids club, normally you just lie there or read a book or listen to something. We were like, a couple of the meetings, they were like, why are you? There. Oh yeah, I know what you're going to say. A couple of the meetings were like, why are you ringing us from your balcony? And I was like, oh yeah, because I just have to keep working. But like you were just about to say, as she moves her coffee cup.
Sorry, just manoeuvring my cup of coffee.
It is nicer to work in the sun.
Yeah.
But I was absolutely boiling. So,
but it's a bit annoying as well because you can't see your laptop screen properly or your phone screen. So then
yes,
you've
I
got
had
to
to
go
go
in the shade. So
I had to go in. And he was just, I don't know what people thought he was doing because he was just constantly on the phone, getting jobs in, sending people this, there and everywhere. He was just mad. So it says next time we're going to have to switch off.
was it just you or did parents go?
We took the grandparents and the
Great.
sister-in-law, so it was really nice to spend time with them.
And use them as babysitters.
You know, they didn't do that this year. Last year we
How
had...
dare they?
How dare they?
I've still never took my kids on holiday.
You have? You went away?
Well, yeah, we did I mean, it was an hour and a half away. But yeah, we did like, you know, a little UK break, but I still haven't took my kids on a proper holiday.
You know,
I
there's
just
no
don't
rush.
know when I will.
You know what, though? I'm a little bit nervous of takeoff and landing. Everything else is fine. And I was saying to Dale on the way home, because flights are horrendous, time-wise, anywhere outside of the UK. So we got home on Thursday at 4:30 in the morning. I was in the office for 7:45 Thursday morning. So I'm a little bit tired. But I was going, I think I'm fine with going abroad. And Dale was like, what? I was like, this part of the journey, going and coming back, it's just not worth my time. The kids were mint.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just over flights and travelling. And I was like, let's get a camper van. Let's travel around Scotland. Let's go to Wales. We've never seen parts of the UK.
Yeah.
Like, and he went, but we'll do that as well. I was like, that's not helpful. Anyway, it was a good time. There was a couple of moments I'd like to share with you and get your opinions. I came on my period.
Right.
That was the pit because I was just constantly like, code red, anybody? And pointing me family to me vagina. Obviously not my father-in-law because that's weird. But I was like, everything all right down there? But it was just annoying. Freddie turned into Robin Hood.
What do you mean?
So...
stealing stuff.
Let me tell you the story.
No.
So the kids club was on. It was a bit, like kids entertainment was a bit crap. And he's at that age now where he just wants to play football.
Yeah.
So there was a park behind the stage and where the little arcades were behind the stage. So the first few nights we would stand there like we all had issues, all these parents watching them play football. And I was like, you know what, they're not going to go anywhere. So we would sit round the front, watch the disco. Eva's having a nice time. My sister-in-law went round to watch Freddie for a bit. The next thing I know, all these kids start coming round with these like big proper footballs. And I was like, what on earth? And Dale's dad went round, he came back and he was like laughing his head off. He was like, oh, Freddie, look at this. And he showed us a picture of Freddie inside the big grabber in the arcades. Lauren, inside, he'd climbed into the machine through the hole where...
And you know, us massive anxiety.
And you know the grabs where you go, goes down, picks up an actual football, boom, like Real Madrid footballs, all these different like proper footballs. And he was laughing, showing this video, and I was like, the same as you. I was like, what on earth is he doing in there? And Dale was like,
what if he'd got stuck?
So then I ran round, and there was about 25 kids. All had these balls and they were all laughing. And Freddie had just came out and he came running over and he was like, Mummy, look. And I was like, no, Simone was laughing. I was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, how on earth is he in that machine and what is going on? And then as I walked past this woman, arse of a woman, yes, if you're listening, you're an arse. She was going, should we go and tell the manager? He's stealing. They're all stealing. Should we go and tell the manager? And I looked at her and I was like, don't do a thing. And like I got hold of him, I said, go and put that back. And someone was like, Kayleigh, everybody's got them. I was like, not everybody's child was in a machine. I was like, what has happened? She said, well, the older lads had pulled the door off. And I was like, what do you mean? She went, Freddie and them, the younger lads were still just playing football over here and they were getting footballs out, but for themselves and running away. And Freddie went, Auntie Simone, can I go and get one? And she was like, I go on. And I was like, Simone. So he said he ran round and all his little mates were like, they couldn't get through the door. Freddie decided to go in and he was going, which ball do you want? So he's getting his balls out and passing them to his friend. Which one do you want? Getting that out and passing. So he's Robin Hood.
Right.
Pinching and giving to the poor. So... Then,
I'd like to see how big this hole was.
Right, let me try it. There's a video in our WhatsApp group somewhere. So I wasn't very happy, clearly, because I was like, you've just encouraged my son to steal. And they're going, yeah, but, you know, he was giving them away. And I was like, Robin Hood. So I dragged him round. And as I walked past that stupid woman again, Louise was there. And Simone had said something. And... I was like, people are saying around there that they're going to go and tell the manager. And someone was like, I was going to do that. But as we were walking past them, she went, actually, I was going to do it. And I was like, well, pack in. I was like, don't you dare do anything like that. And she was like, well, but just to let you know.
On the podcast telling lots of people.
Yeah. But she was like, well, just so you were aware, there's CCTV in there. And I was like, right, that's fine. And if they come to our room, they come to the room.
Ball back.
I was like, I'll pay for them. Oh, I was so angry at her. Hold on. I will get you it.
I wish I could drink myself because I've been up since 4:55. And I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Tired?
Hello?
Simone?
Yes?
We are talking about your engagement in turning my son into a thief on holiday. Could you send me the video of him inside the machine, please? You're on the podcast.
Is it not in the Lovely group?
Well, that's where I thought, but I couldn't find it. Can you just send it again?
I'll send it again for you, yeah. Just making him into the kind Robin Hood that he is.
Right. Goodbye, my darling.
Bye.
Right.
Come on then.
I like that one. That's one of the mums. One of the other mums saying, oh, we'll have that one.
It's funny, right? It's funny, but I think I'd be exactly the same as you. I'd be like, what on earth are you doing?
Get out of the machine.
Why are the adults taking that on? What if he got stuck?
So, all that night, I went to bed.
And all you could think about
All
was
I was
if he
thinking
got
about
stuck in the machine.
if he got trapped, if the machine started doing something, if he, like, limbs could have been torn off. And then I was thinking, are we going to have a manager at the door saying, like, you're being escorted out? Like, I was thinking of all these stupid,
You have to leave the
irrational,
hotel.
leave now, your son's a thief. While all these parents are stood around going, oh,
I mean, it
that
might
one.
have been the police.
I know,
Criminal
Lauren.
damage.
But yeah, so that was fun. So yeah, I have a Robin Hood for a child. And what was the other thing? Friends on holiday.
Oh, holiday friends.
Holiday friends for Fred. When they left,
kids' holiday friends.
he cried.
Oh, no.
One of them, this
So
little
how
boy.
how is that good?
No, because what I'm saying is the difference between when we make holiday friends as kids, you knew you would never see them again. I had a pen pal for a little bit and that just fizzled off.
I always wanted a pen pal, but I never had one.
They've now got Roblox, haven't they? So they were all
right,
adding each other on that, and they were like, can we FaceTime at the weekend? Can we? And I was like, actually, yous can actually still connect.
Yeah.
So, but Freddie was hugging one little boy called Romeo, who was lush. He was 8. And them two just got on so well, and they both cried when they were leaving. And then a little boy called George, he left the next day. Dale had saw his mum and dad, and they were like, we're going now. We haven't been able to see you. It was on the morning. So he ran to the swimming pool, got Fred, and I was running back, and the bus was there, and George came running through. He was like, I can't leave without saying goodbye. And they hug each other. He was 9, and he was just the gorgeous little boys, like lovely parents. But yeah, nice to have holiday friends.
I don't think I can think of anything worse than going on holiday and making friends.
Well, it's when the kids make friends.
Yeah, I suppose that is quite nice. But then I suppose if your kid makes friends, it means that you have to make small talk. I don't go on holiday for that. Not that I go on holiday at all. But do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think the first few days we just sat next to each other watching them play football.
Yeah.
And then we started like leaving him round there. And then they started. And then they'd be like, oh, can Freddie come to the semicircle during the day?
Semicircle.
And I'm like, I'm here with Eve. And they're like, oh, we can watch him. And I'm like, all right, semicircle's
trust
just
you,
there.
stranger.
Go,
Thanks.
stranger.
Bye.
Run away, Freddie. But yeah, it was very good.
Lovely.
But I'm not going to work next
Did you get
time.
fined?
Nah. Well, dunno. I got a letter when I got back saying, we're not authorising this.
So you'll get fined, won't you?
It's up to the council.
Is
It
it?
says in the letter, you may be fined. That is now down to the council. So we'll see. But I'm fully prepared because it was $2,500 more if I go next week.
So, but what's the fine these days?
It's £60 per child per adult.
So £120 for each kid.
Yeah, but
A
Eva doesn't.
A week or a day. Eva
Eva doesn't. So just each week it's £60.
A week.
So it's £60. So £120 for me and Dale.
Yeah.
But
For a week.
For a week.
It's not too bad.
But then it goes up the more you take them out
Yeah.
or something. Dale was like, I'm sure you can get like 10 grand fines now or 2 grand. I can't remember what he said.
Isn't that ridiculous?
Insane. Make the company stop putting the extra charge on us.
But it's just ridiculous.
Like, why is it $2,500 to go next week? The same holiday, the same room, the same.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't be allowed. Why then is it our fault that we take them out?
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand.
Nobs. Anyway.
But
Your
yeah.
pits and peaks?
You know what, right? My pit is going to be something that I spoke about recently on my Instagram, right? I think I've spoke about it on here before. I think I've made, some little jokes about it that aren't really funny. Where there was a part of us that thought that I could have postpartum rage. Have I said that before?
Yeah.
I feel like I've said it before. Right. So that's how I felt. There is just moments of pure anger that bubble up inside of us when I'm overstimulated, when I feel like I've got a million things to do and I can't get them done. But now it's happening when I'm due on my period. So when the period's coming, the rage is building. And I am the most chilled out person on the planet. Like, I am so chilled out that sometimes this rage shocks us.
I think
Like,
it's quite normal, because
so,
I went
yeah.
through that.
So I spoke about it on my Instagram, and well, it's apparent that I'm followed by literally a mob of angry bitches because there was so many people that were the same, but I was just like, why am I feeling this angry? Like,
I think it's just your hormones trying to settle down.
the hormones, and obviously the house is still a mess. It's been a mess for months now. I just can't get on top of it. And I feel like that starts us off. So the house being a mess is the trigger.
Yeah.
And then it's like someone breathes, someone speaks to us, someone asks us a question, and it's awful.
It is awful because you feel instant guilt. Like,
I don't actually even explode
do you
to anyone. No. So like Glenn will ask us a question, and honestly, it's just the feeling. The feeling that I feel like.
How do you actually stop it?
I don't know, but like I have let out an actual scream. But it was when Glenn like left the house with baby to go on a walk, and I think I screamed when he closed the door.
There's got to be like a scream pillow.
Yeah,
online somewhere.
Like I've never actually
scream here.
I mean, obviously I have shouted and stuff, but I've never had like burning rage in real life at anyone. But I feel it. I feel the rage.
I remember one time I was screaming in the hall, and our bungalow is not big, so I was stood at the bathroom hallway, and Dale was at our bedroom at the other side of the hallway, and he was talking about him. And I was like, "Rah!" And I screamed, and I was like, I want to smash my head into the wall. I'm so angry. Like, you don't get how or what I'm doing for this family. You just live in your own world of stress. Imagine. And I was going, and he was going, oh, all right.
Like,
and I physically wanted to. If I knew it wouldn't hurt, I don't like pain, I was ready to bash my head against the wall. I was so frustrated, and that was my time of, isn't it PPD? What's it called? Postpartum.
PMDD.
But that's like a proper...
Yeah. Others.
I think it was that day Julie was like, maybe you
I don't know. I think there's a few different things, but honestly, sometimes the anger that bubbles up inside of us, and then all I do is say to Glenn, I feel rage. So I don't even let it out properly. So maybe I need to actually start letting it out, and then maybe it wouldn't bubble up so much.
Possibly, I think.
But honestly, things that wind us up the most is if I'm starting to feel the anger and the rage is building up, and Glenn asks us what I'm doing. Don't you dare ask me what I'm doing.
Is he asking you for him to help?
No. Like, he'll just be like on the settee, feet up, watching the telly, and he'll just go like, "What you doing?" I think, "Well, I'm emptying the effing dishwasher." That's it.
Come and see. Come and help.
Yeah, so I just ignore him most of the time. Another thing that really winds us up, right, is if I'm brushing my teeth and Glenn starts talking to us while I'm brushing my teeth, and I think, well, I cannot reply, so what are you talking to us for?
I hate.
Like, why are you speaking to us while I'm brushing my teeth? Because I've got a toothbrush in my mouth, I can't talk back. So I just ignore him, and then he's like, I'll ask us again and say something again. I think, well, brush my teeth.
Just put your hand up. Just one moment. Or that finger. Yeah. No, I regularly vomit into the sink brushing my teeth.
Oh, right, okay.
Like the foam and all of the stuff in your mouth. I'm so gaggy. Ugh.
I'm quite a gaggy person, but I mean, you just spit it out.
No, I know, but sometimes if I scrub my tongue just at a certain angle, egg in the sink.
Right.
Delightful.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Peak of the week.
My advice, let it out.
Let it out.
Let it go.
Instead of just saying, I'm filled with rage. That's literally what I do. I can feel rage. I feel rage.
Yeah, let it out. Go in the garage.
Go in the garage and just scream.
People think you get murdered, but I think that's your safe space.
Okay.
I'm going into the safe space. Let me be.
To scream. It will echo through the entire house.
Mm-hmm. Take a pillow.
Okay.
Get your scream pillow.
I'm never
insert face here. Scream after 3. This will absorb. If that's not a product, I'm going to make that.
Soundproof scream pillows. Imagine. Right, so peak of the week.
Google that if there's not one, I'm going to make one. Remember the time you used to write them down? And I was so proud of you.
I know, it didn't last very long, did it?
I think a good strong 3
You know what? I
weeks.
just think because I've just got such like, your average normal life that not many good or bad things happen.
don't
It's
think
just
you have
very
an
like
average
average
normal
all the
life.
time.
I don't think you do.
So the peak of my week is I've read a really good book. There you go.
What was it? Because I've just finished mine.
Never Never, Colleen Hoover, loved it.
I like that one. Tell
Did
me,
you-
what was it about again? Was it the green one? No, that was Verity. Never pick. What was the front cover?
I don't know because I read it on the Kindle.
Oh, God,
on my Kindle.
Tell me what it was about again, because I have read it.
They lost their memory.
Then what happens? Like me right now.
Then what happens? They lose their memory again 48 hours later. And they keep writing loads of stuff down to try and figure out what's happening.
No, I haven't read that
Oh,
one.
it's a good one.
I'm gonna have to read
Do
that
it.
one. Or maybe I have. And I've forgotten.
And you forgot all about
Maybe
it.
I'm the character.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I've got into reading again and I'm really happy about it because I was struggling with my sleep a lot, obviously, because it's all I spoke about for ages. And I just needed to be able to switch off on a night and actually just go straight to sleep. So I find that reading, instead of watching the telly, I can just stop.
I finished my book on holiday. That was good. Called Wrong Sister.
Oh,
It's very good. Don't know who wrote it.
I will take that recommendation on board.
It's very good. It was they get murdered. Somebody gets murdered. And
It was the wrong sister.
the wrong sister.
Oh, right.
Anywho, there we go.
Anywho,
You should start that book club. Lots of things to start. Pillow screaming products, book clubs.
I think I'm
So
going to need to pick my cards up, but I can't see them.
yeah. So today's app is, oh God, this bagel. Is about Halloween, I think.
Halloween.
And the difference between... hold on. What was your Halloween costume when you were a kid?
A bin bag.
In witch's fingers. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Like,
Witch's fingers, witch's hat, and a bin bag round you.
we have, in 20, 30 years, or whatever it's been, the transition is very Americanised, I believe. The whole of our estate is just covered with, like,
Yeah, a lot of
outside.
houses as well. I love it.
We drove past somebody this morning who put a massive cobweb, but it was lights of cobwebs all over the front of the house.
I was going to get the lighty up one.
I was like, this is so exciting. But really, just another thing for us parents to do.
It is another thing for us to do, but I like it.
Yeah.
So I've always wanted to be that mum, but I've just never got round to it yet because, one, I seem to do everything quite bad. Like, I'm just not very good at the things I try and do.
What comes
But I
to
have
mind?
decorated the house.
Yeah.
And there's a few good little bits there. It was really windy the other night. My spider's web just snapped and blew down. The face out of the scary thing that I had above the door just was ripped out and it now is no good. And one of the heads of me skeletons that are coming out of the grass had just blown down the street. So the arms were just there and Glenn was like, where's the head? And I was like, oh, I don't know, it must have blown away. And then we just seen it right at the bottom of the street. And we were like, oh.
You had to pin them in like a tent.
Yeah, I didn't do that.
No.
No.
So Eva said, when are we decorating our
Have
house?
you not decorated yours?
Oh, no, we've been away.
Oh, God, yeah.
So we're going to go and pick some pumpkins on Saturday.
At the front door.
Get them carved out. What a thankless task. And then I put candles in, light them, take a picture, and never light the candles again. So I'm
not
scared.
very good at carving a pumpkin either.
Dale does that.
Does he?
Did I not show you the video last year where he gets his actual power tools out? And he's like cutting the top off with this like power saw. And I'm
That's
like,
a good idea.
why can't you just do it like a normal man?
But that's a good idea.
I know. He was like, efficiency, Kayleigh.
I agree.
Trick or treating, do you do it?
I haven't done it ever yet, but I'm going to do it tonight.
Yeah.
We are going trick or treating. I think Oaks is old enough to understand, and obviously he'll get very excited about sweets. So
Yeah.
we're going to go.
Have you
And
seen?
I am going to try and get Glenn in an outfit.
Yeah, please take these.
I just,
You want better.
I've got like something else in my head.
Okay, I'm excited to see it.
Like,
I'll get me and Dale in these.
yeah, get you and Dale in these.
Fabulous.
I actually would really like to be a family of hot dogs.
We'll take that hot
Because
dog.
imagine taking the dogs dressed as hot dogs.
You really should. No. Put the kids as hot dogs and you and Glenn as ketchup and mustard. You can get them. You can get them ones. I've seen ketchup
I
and
just
mustard.
think Glenn would refuse. He's such a boring bastard.
Say you'll give him a nice time at home. Dill will do out for one of them. I will dress as anything. I will do anything. Have you seen all that terrible stuff though on Facebook?
What?
It comes up every year. I don't know if it's true, but it's like somebody's like, please be careful. My son's come home with a needle in one of the sweets.
No.
Have you not seen that?
No.
Have I just put that in your head?
Mm-hmm.
Just be careful.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So now a sweet's going to be poisoned. Am I going to knock on a bitter old lady's house who's going to try and poison us all?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
great.
don't just have the sealed ones.
Okay.
No brownies. Homemade
people do
sweets.
that?
Somebody was trying to give us brownies last year.
Really?
We have to go to our friend's street because their street is just mad with kids.
Yeah.
And people actually drive to, we can walk around, it's 2 streets away, but people drive to their street
Really?
because it's just decorated meat. I can't
Meat?
speak.
Decorated meat? What on earth?
Mince pies hanging all over.
God, I can't wait for Christmas, you know. I know, literally, like tomorrow, okay, so Friday the 1st of November,
Yeah.
if my Christmas tree is not up this weekend,
You've failed at motherhood.
I've already got a Christmas garland just waiting,
Going on the stairs or the...
on me new media wall. So it's just sat there. I put it there to make sure it was the right length and I haven't moved it. It's just there. I mean, the thing's still unpainted. It's still, just MDF and blue wrapped cupboards. So it doesn't look very Christmassy or anything, but God, I can't wait.
Are you going to get that painted before Christmas?
It's getting painted tomorrow. Ready for Christmas.
Should we do a share your shit? Share your shit. Share your shit.
Hi. I emailed in about my daughter's costume a few weeks ago. So this is a follow-up. This is where
get
I was
all of the
very, very
information.
conflicted. The costume in question was a flight attendant. Like, it's not too bad, but it was
I know
short
the
skirts
one.
and tight shirts.
The little
and
blue
as I
one.
mentioned, she's a little young for that. She is instead going in a group costume of iconic 2000s girlies, which I think is better, but it depends who the iconic girl is.
Yeah.
Begs the question, which iconic 2000s girl would you want to be? I've dressed up as Britney Spears before, and Britney Spears is too obvious. And Britney Spears is too obvious. When I was younger, I did Britney Spears' Hit Me Baby One More Time,
Did you?
which I suppose is short skirt, tight shirt.
That's a song. Short skirt, tight skirt. I can't. You know what?
But right, can we just talk about this again though? Because I don't think the flight attendant costume isn't bad.
Depends on what you pair it with. Because the one that I've got in my head is like, you're going to have, it's very low cut, booby busty, very short skirt, little hat to the tilt.
Well, I've got like Emirates costume in my head
They're not.
for a kid.
No, it's, you can Google it now. She is laughing.
What
I'm
was-
going out as the Emirates flight attendant, Mummy.
Why? You can get that.
Not as a fancy dress costume.
Yes, you can.
Well, I've got this blonde lass in me head with the side little,
So you've got Britney Spears Toxic in your head.
that one. Maybe it's that I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Right, attendant.
I've never, ever dressed up as an iconic 2000s girls.
So right, 2 seconds. Let's just look at flight attendant costumes.
This is totally not a good episode for any sort of audio only podcast. You know the amount of people that goes, why can't I watch it on Spotify anymore?
They can't.
Can't we have to change the hosting platform? But
So
YouTube.
like, I don't think,
That
obviously
one.
these are women's ones, but I don't think any of them is actually a bad costume. Like, look at that little girl one. Like, not one of them is a bad costume.
But Britney Spears with her abs out, dressed with the snake, whatever that one was.
Yeah, that was a good one as well.
What was that?
Unless you do Christina Aguilera dirty.
Dirty! Oh my God. At school, I choreographed a whole routine.
Of course you did. I choreographed one in my bedroom.
For the talent
Under my
show.
bunk beds.
And we were all dressed up like the video. And it was an epic dance. But we should not have been allowed on that stage the way we were dressed.
Yeah.
Dirty! Crawling forward in year 9. Everybody like, oh my
I
God.
can't believe the costume in question was a flight attendant.
Well, it must have been too slutty. Again, audio platform.
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I do forget sometimes that I am on a podcast.
So you've been already dressed up as Britney Spears. What else would you be?
Well, I feel like when you think of iconic 2000s girlies, you only think of Britney
Spice
or
Girls.
Christina. Oh, yeah, you could do Spice Girls.
I was dressed up as, I lie, Spice Girls. I was Baby Spice.
I've dressed up as Sporty Spice before.
Baby Spice, little pink dress.
But so
Hen
how's
bunches.
that better than a flight attendant costume?
I didn't, nah.
Okay.
She's not going off that. But thank you for writing back in and telling us Lauren was not happy. So, we've been sent in a Halloween story.
Oh, come on then.
I'm going to read it in a dramatic form.
Okay.
Turn down the lights. Light a candle.
Turn off the
in.
light.
You haven't painted it? Still got the pink
I don't
light.
have time.
The Midnight Mystery. It was one of those rare nights when everyone was finally asleep. The kids were snoring and the house was still, and I was dreaming peacefully when I jolted awake, ears pinched. What's that noise? What's that voice? I squinted at the clock. 2:13 a.m. Was someone outside? 2 people sounded like they were having a proper go at each other right outside our window. For anybody listening, Lauren is open-mouthed, wide-eyed, and is concerned. At first I lay there, trying to ignore it. But then one of them got louder, as if they were determined to wake up the whole street. Well, I wasn't having it. Not tonight. I threw off the quilt, jumped up and stormed towards the window, ready to yell, "Oi! Piss off! Don't you wake these kids." But as I reached the window, my words caught my throat. There was nothing. Absolute silence. I felt a chill run down my spine. Just moments before, the voices were particularly shouting, but now all I can hear was my own breathing. I glanced back at the bed, and there my husband was rubbing his eyes. What's going on? What's happening? As he cleared his throat. But before I could answer, a new sound filled the room. Faint at first, but then unmistakably a mechanical tune. Then another, and another. The toys, one by one, in the pitch dark of the living room, started whirling to life. Little jingles, flashing lights, every button that could be pressed seemed to go off at once.
How did you get to the living room?
It was in a bungalow.
Oh.
Like someone had thrown a midnight toy parade in our front room.
Oh, our front room. This is your story, is it?
I've just made a mistake. Dale's eyes, I might as well just say his names. Dale's eyes went wide as we clung to each other, frozen. We both knew we turned everything off before bed. Heart pounding, I whispered, "Get back under the quilt!" Oh, sorry. Get back under the quilt. We dove back into bed, yanking the covers over our heads like a couple of terrified kids. And there we stayed.
Not going to protect your kids?
No, we did not. No. And there we stayed, hardly daring to breathe until the noise died down, one toy at a time, until finally, silence. We lay there, barely whispering. A afraid any sound might start it up again. We never did figure out what happened that night, but I swear, whatever it was, just knew just how to get our attention.
Right, so your kids woke up and they were playing in the living room.
That right. So that was it was an original story by Miss Kayleigh, and it actually happened, right? But I got ChatGPT to write it in a story format. What actually happened was the loud noises were happening, it was kicking off, and jumped up, and instantly all of the toys went off. So we're in our bungalow. Our bedroom is next door to the living room. Dale cacked his pants, jumped, and we both jumped under, and we didn't move. And then we were going, should we go and get Freddie? Because it was only Freddie. Wasn't all the kids. And it was the most terrifying moment because I was like, the noise was in my head. The shout was in my head. Awful. Awful. And Dale will tell you the same. It's an awful moment of us realising
that a toy just went off.
Not one toy, Lauren. It was the screaming in my head. Terrifying.
It wasn't there. It was a dream.
It wasn't. It was. I was awake, stood up.
You weren't when the voices started. You were lying down in bed, you've just said.
It was the clairvoyant within me. Anyway, it was horrendous. But what's funny now is when I asked Dale about that story, he goes, nah, absolutely fine, nah. And I'm like, you were shit yourself under the quilt. Like, unafraid to get out of the quilt the rest of the night. Anyway, have you got any scary stories? None?
There was one time I heard a noise downstairs and Glenn went down and looked and there was nothing there and we went to sleep.
I've told you about Freddie, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Should we tell that one quickly?
Yeah.
So Freddie is definitely got my weirdness. He was 3. I was pregnant with Eva and he was in the hallway playing. And I always said to Dale, if our kids have any sort of weirdness, we're not going to say he's making it up or it's a part of his imagination. We just let him crack on. So I was like, Freddie, time for tea. And Freddie, I popped my head outside because he was having a full-on chat with somebody. And he had his hand up, like he was holding somebody's hand. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just saying bye. And he was like, bye, see you later. Ran into the living room, into the kitchen. I said, oh, who was that?
You haven't told me this one. I thought you were going to tell a different one.
I said, oh, who was that? And he said, he said he's never met you, but he's my granddad. I was like, your granddad? Well, no, granddad Alan and granddad Martin are here. He said, no, it was granddad Ken. And I was like, Ken? And he was like, yeah. He really likes you though, and thank you. And I was like, all right. So I rang Dale, and I'd never met Dale's granddad, and they were super, super close, and not many people talk about him because it's still, one of them raw things. And I told him, and he was like, what was his name? I said, Granddad Ken. And he was like, fuck off. That's his granddad's name.
Wow. I don't like it.
Don't like it.
Because that would freak me out.
I've
never really, I have experienced little things. I remember when I was in primary school, I had a friend who lived in this really big, scary house. And she had a little brother, he'd have been about 3. And he used to get up in the middle of the night and walk around talking to someone. And it actually seeing it in real life freaked me the hell out. I never, ever wanted to stay there ever again. Because he was actually like talking to someone, like as if there was someone talking back to him. Yeah. And there was nothing there. In this big old Victorian house that still had like the maid's bells in and stuff. And I was like, never ever going back. Can't go back there ever.
Well, I stopped seeing things when I was 12. I was so petrified. I don't think I've ever told you this. I was so petrified of sleeping because I never saw like lovely little things. It was like awful, scary looking things. Anyway, I used to sleep with my mum and dad because I was petrified. And there was sometimes my mum and dad just said I would just hallucinate, but I wasn't. I was seeing awful things anyway. My mum and dad, we were sat around for dinner. Our Mark was there, me and our Mark, mum and dad, and they were like, Kayleigh, you're going to have to start sleeping. Like, you're not very well, look at you. And our Mark was like, if she can't see the stairs, we were only talking about this a few months ago, if Kayleigh can't see the stairs, then she won't see the weird things coming up the stairs. And my mum and dad like looked and were like, you could see light bulbs like, and we left our team, we ran upstairs, and everybody just, me and our Marks swapped bedrooms, so I could no longer see the stairwell coming up. Within 10 minutes, I had my groovy chick bedding on our Mark's bed, and it was just ready. I was like, right, like I'm okay. And that night, I took a rolling pin to bed. Don't know why, but the rolling pin still is in my bedside cabinet. It's been to London with us. It's been everywhere, this rolling pin. Just a bit of a comfort blanket. Don't know why, because that wouldn't attack any ghosts. Anyway, so I'm like, right, I made the decision, no more seeing things because they're going to put us in a home. So I shut my eyes. I'm lying there, groovy chick, up tall. Shut my eyes. And as you go to shut your eyes, I seen somebody's head pop through the door. And I thought, open your eyes. And as I opened my eyes, head moved back. And I was like, no more, no more. So I stood up with me rolling pin. Was walking like so slow. And as I got to the door, I seen it was our Mark at the door. So I hoid this rolling pin, smacked into the door. Mum and Dad was screaming, kicking off, and our Mark was going, I just wanted to make sure you'd fell asleep. So he was about 14 at the time. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't trying to scare you. Mum, there was lots of tears. From that night, I never saw another thing. Ever. I have these, like, I don't know what it is, but I can feel things. I can hear things, clearly from the shouting in the room that night. But from that night, I never saw anything. And I think, you know, when they say like kids have a bit of an extra sense of these things, and it's when we get older, we like put things in place.
Like, shut it out.
So I made the decision to stop seeing things, and I didn't see it, and I haven't seen anything since.
Well, I have psychic dreams, but whatever. You know, when Kayleigh's just been saying, like, you know, if our child's got any weirdness, we won't like tell them that they're making it up or it's part of their imagination, etc., etc. That's how I feel about Kayleigh right now. So, I'm not going to tell you.
I'm telling you, we'll ring Tina. She'll tell you the truth. It was a bad time in Kayleigh's life.
Dreams.
Stop.
Dreams.
It wasn't dreams. There was a little girl ghost that used to look over the back fence. I used to just stare up at the back
So,
window.
when you think back to those times, right, because I've got loads of little stories of like ghosts and stuff when I'm little, but do you not just think you just fucking made it up in your head?
Absolutely
Like
not.
you just made it up?
How can I make it up? This
Because
little
sometimes
girl
I think
just
you
looking at us.
want things to be there so badly that they come. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, when you're little and you want to be scared and you want to have that little story and stuff.
So. I don't think at 8-year-old I even thought about what that was.
Well, I did, because I had another friend that had a really big scary house, and we used to talk about how the house would be haunted and how this person would live there and that person would live there, and then would see something in our sleep.
No.
Yeah.
No.
There's no such thing as ghosts.
There is. 100%. But I don't think a lot of them can engage with you. I got told a story from one of my best friend's grands. She's in her 90s. Amazing, Pam. And she talks about the same time, at the same like day, she's lived in this flat forever. This like woman walks through her, like with this basket through her bed, just like on this own little mission to like, she just walks through, boop, 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 and back through the door. She's holding a basket of something. And they're always dressed in old clothes. Where are all the new dead people? But she talks about that. This eyelash keeps getting stuck to the bottom of my eyelash, and it's doing my head in. Can you see it?
I've seen it there.
So I'm having a stroke, my eyelash. Anyway, please ring in. Tell me your ghost
tell us
stories.
some ghost stories, please.
But it totally is true.
Do you think, though?
100%.
Do you not just think a lot of it's like your subconsciousness?
No, should I tell you this other thing?
Oh, come on then.
Just quickly. I went to a spiritualist church because I go through this peaks and trough where I'm like, I really want to get back into like me woo-woo side. So this was years ago. Went, and it was in you had to sit in a square, and there's people just like trying to work on their spiritual side. And this man, it was so funny. He was like, would anybody like to try and connect with the other side? So I'm sat there like, bloody hell, here we go. Who's going to get up and I don't want to believe them, because I'm like, how can you get them answers so quick? Like, it's mad. Anyway, he was like, I'd like you to try, pointed at me. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. He was like, I can help you. And I was like, think of who's that man from that ghost hunting program who got called out? Was he called Darren or Darren? Blonde hair.
Don't know.
With Gail Porter.
Do
man.
Don't.
Anyway, he was like, I'll help you. So he stood up with his, and he was like, just shut your eyes and just feel. And I was like, all right, so there's my eyelash again. So after about a minute, I got this overwhelming feeling of loss, right?
Mm.
I'm not making this up. And we sat in the square, and I looked at this woman, and I just was hit with emotion. I started crying, and I was going, I'm so sorry. And then she was like, it's all right. And I was going, no, I'm so sorry. And that's all I kept saying. She's like, it's okay. And they were going, tell me what you're feeling. I was going, no, I don't know how I'm feeling. Anyway, I felt like I'd lost a baby. And afterwards, what was funny, he was going, step back, spirit. You're too close, spirit. And he was throwing his hand behind us. And I was like, can I sit down? I don't like this. Sat down. And they were like, would you like to share to the wifey? And she was like, 3 weeks ago, she lost a baby.
Oh.
And I honestly felt like I'd felt her emotions kind of thing. I'd never met this woman in my life. And afterwards, I was walking to the car, and this man came running over to his back spirit, get back spirit man. And he was like, I'd like you to come back next week. I was like, no, I don't want to feel that shit. I'm fine. Like, I know I'm a bit woo-woo, but that was too much. Like, why would anybody want to feel?
Should we go and see someone?
I'm telling you now.
See what happens.
Did you not come to remember when we do the psychic social?
Yeah.
Or after the live drawn one we did? And the wife who was saying there, I'd like you to come and have a consultation with this. I feel like I do
I do like stuff like this. I do like it, but a lot of the time I just think you're talking so much crap.
Well, that was the one that Johanna, your friend, came to, and she was talking about the footprints tattoo, and I don't know. It's not. Is it on her wrist or something? I don't know where. But she had it all covered up, and like it was mad. Yeah. Like hers was so accurate, but I just don't know how they get it that quick. Like
sometimes I just think there's some people that are like
chat-eyed.
Yeah,
100%. Most of them,
like,
I think,
there's an old person behind you and they've got humbugs in the pocket. Like what nana didn't have humbugs?
Yeah, in the bottom of her bag. Uh-huh. I do believe there's a lot of charlatans or a lot of wannabes, but I know that there is something because it's just my own experience. And Dale's always like, I don't believe, but I believe that you believe. Like the way that you've just said about like it's your own imagination. It might be, but there's too many things that like, yeah. Anyway.
Do you know my nana and granddad got married on Halloween?
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Cool. Anyway, send us yours. Do you believe in the afterlife? The spiritual life? The life? Where am I at here? Did I do well with me reading in me dramatic form though?
Oh yeah, it was really good.
Right, Kayleigh's fact of the week. Children did not always say trick or treat on Halloween. They used to say bells nickel. This referred to bells nickeling when children, am I saying it wrong?
I don't know. Bells nickel. Bells nickel.
When children would dress up in costumes and their neighbours would have to try and guess which child is which. Haha.
Who's who?
Yeah. But they've put which as in.
Oh. Which as in which?
Which. That's interesting, isn't it? Is it? I don't know.
Is it? I'm not really
bells
quite sure.
Nickel.
Bells nickel.
What is the origin of Halloween? Is it daylight? Is it the witches in daylight savings time and like penis? Who?
What?
Paganism.
So what was the 31st of October?
As my fact of the week, where the origin of Halloween is. Quickly Google.
What Hallows Eve?
Old Hallows Eve. Origin of Halloween.
I don't know. I don't actually know.
Halloween holiday has its roots in the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain.
What?
Samhain. A pagan religion celebration to welcome the harvest of the end of the summer, when people would light bonfires and wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Thank you. That is 2 facts of the week. Right.
Lovely job, Lee.
Is that the end of time?
I think it is the end of time.
I don't know what's next. I've lost all my cards.
I'm going to go and get a McDonald's.
I'm so hungry.
Yeah, same.
I'm trying to be good.
Can't be arsed.
Holding a little bit of holiday weight.
Always, but I can't be bothered. I did a few weeks of being good and I'm over it. I'm just so over it.
Winter's coming.
Winter's coming.
Bread and broth.
Mm-hmm. Oh, soup season. Love it. Right, yeah, so if everyone can please get involved, share your shit.
We've had a lot.
Leave a
new
review.
We've had lots of new listeners the last few weeks. So thanks for
have.
coming along for the ride, guys. And if you got past over to episode 9, where Lauren's microphone wasn't even on for the first 9 episodes, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. It gets better.
Yeah, it did get better. And
Remember
it gets
that?
even better now. Yeah. Remember when our sound quality was so bad and we just didn't know why. And then realised that we just hadn't even turned my mic on.
The amount of money I'd spent on them mics and the setup and everything. And we was just like, what's going on in my kitchen?
You try to silence me.
Try to silence her.
Try to have me silenced.
Episode 9 was one of my favourites. It's a Dear Diary. If you go and turn that, press record. And then you just hounded us for 5 minutes saying, she tried to silence me.
I'm going to listen back to some of the old episodes.
They're funny.
Funny.
You can't fucking hear us, so it's pointless. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye then.
Bye. This episode of Mama Social, the podcast, was filmed and produced by Flamingo Heights Podcast Studio.
Lauren, I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
I don't like
Why
you
you say
soon,
Lauren? Just say see you soon.
Steve.
Because we're talking to our listeners.
Ah.
See you soon.